We're back now with Better Business Bureau President Reanna Smith-Hamblin. We're talking scams and we're taking your calls. We got a call now from Vicki. Vicki, what's your question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, I get calls all the time, at least once a week, and they say they're Amazon. Now, I don't answer any calls that don't have a number that I don't see or know. But anyway, they leave a message and says somebody's charged $900 on your account for a phone or whatever it is, and if you don't want that charge to be applied, call them back. Well, I used to call them back. I don't anymore, but I did call them back, and what they want to do is get you on your computer. They want to know if you're on your computer. I said, well, no. They just want access to my computer. And I think they just want information off my computer. I don't know. But I don't know what can be done about it. But, I mean, I get them almost every week. Have you all gotten any complaints about that?
Well, I can tell you a couple of things. This is kind of two scenarios here. First of all, they're using the Amazon name, and that is one of the top companies that are used in scams these days, according to our BBB scam tracker studies that we've done. So it's one company that's been reported of being used for scams. So that's one scenario, and Amazon's not going to call you and tell you this situation that someone's bought something through your account and you have to get on your computer. So there is that. Also, if you do have a question about Amazon, what I would do is go directly to Amazon.com and log in. And if there are issues with your account, you'll see them there under your orders. So there's the first scenario. The second one is, this is kind of like it's a scam where it's a tech scam where they want to take over your computer. So quite often we hear about these scams through Microsoft or Google. They'll say that there's an issue with your computer, there's a security issue, and they want to take over your computer remotely, like this Amazon call of yours. So they'll take over remotely, and then what they do is they'll put malware on your computer that can access all of your keystrokes. So when you go into your bank accounts or any other accounts, they can actually get all of your login information and your passwords and start taking over your accounts and taking your money. So in any instance like this, don't let anyone take over your computer remotely, especially if you have not made the call to have someone help you do so.
Words to live by in these days. We've got a call now from Helen. Helen, what's your question?
Yes, I've been receiving at least 2 calls a week that saying that they're the federal government and I am involved in a fraud group with my Social Security and owed on for a government official. I just hang up.
Now, this is actually something that's fairly common right now. Social Security number, there are people being told that their Social Security number was associated with money laundering or something like that.
That's correct. Yeah, it's one of the top scams we've been hearing about nationally and locally lately. And it's a scam that happens all the time, and they have varieties of this scam, whether it's money laundering or it's been involved in some kind of crime. So anyone that calls and pretends they're the government and there's an issue with your Social Security number, hang up the phone. Just hang up the phone.
And you were talking about how they'll use popular names for companies also to try and gain access to your information. There's one out there involving Citibank, just like there was with Amazon that you were talking about just a minute ago.
Sure, yeah. And sometimes it's calls, sometimes it's texts on your cell phone. In this one particular, it was a local BBB employee that actually received a phone call claiming to be from Citibank, saying that there was an issue with their account and that they needed to contact them, and it wanted them to click on a link. And anytime you're asked to click on a link, I would hesitate to do so. I would go to my accountant directly or make the phone call directly to my bank or my credit card company and talk to them that way. In these cases, quite often, whether it's Citibank or Stockyards or Fifth Third, any banks or any credit card companies, it's quite often, if it's a text message like that, it can often be a scam, and you're just better off going to that direct source.
We have a call now from Patricia. Patricia, what's your question?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Well, my concern is about these so-called Medicare people. I thought time was up for enrollment, and if they know so much, why they call and don't even know who they're talking to? Every day I get the same call. Every day they ask me, can you hear me? I say, you don't hear me because I don't need you. But they call back anyway.
I've always wondered, once you answer the phone once, do they feel like they can call you back again and get to you that way? Since she's receiving so many calls like that, is that how they operate?
Often so, yeah. It's a working phone number. So, you pick up your phone, they know it's a working number, so they'll continue to call. Other scammers might continue to call too. There's something that's been around for many, many years, and unfortunately, they call it the quote dummy list. And it's if people have been scammed and they've sent a lot of money to scammers, they get on a list, they share information on people that have given the money, and then they end up on a list and they get calls left and right. We used to get lots of mailings on sweepstakes and lotteries from particular people who got, huge envelopes full of these sweepstakes and lotteries because they kept falling for them. So eventually they caught on, they realized they kept falling for them, it was scams, and they started sending us packets of it because they were just inundated with all of this mail.
They are so organized and so persistent. We've got about a minute left. Linda, what's your question, Linda?
Yes, I have gotten a total of 22 letters from the Office of Unemployment Insurance, and they all come to my address with all different names. I mean, there's a different name on each letter, and I first started sending them back, and then I kept getting them, and I kept getting them, and I kept getting them, so I stopped sending them back, so then they stopped sending them. Well, then after, maybe I'd say 4 or 5 months, then I started getting them again. And I've got all of these letters now, and I don't know what to do with them. I know it's fraud to open anybody else's mail, so I don't know what to do with these.
This sounds like it could be a problem with the bureaucracy. Is this a scam?
This is interesting because we had heard of all of the unemployment insurance scams. It's been a few months since I actually heard a report of any more of them. It's a huge possibility that this could be a continuation of that because people are still unemployed. What's happening is scam artists are stealing people's information, and they are saying they're unemployed when they're actually employed. But they're using their information and they're trying to get the money from these people that are working. So they're trying to get that unemployment. It's a lot to deal with because for some of these people, if that has happened, then they might have had identity theft and they probably need to know about it so they can check their credit reports and everything and check all of their credit cards and all of their personal information. The other thing is to report it to the unemployment office, if you can get through with the unemployment office, to let them know that these people have been, offered the unemployment insurance and everything, and they could be part of a scam. So there are a lot of tips that we have on this information that I can't go through all of them right now with the time we have, but it could be an issue for the people that were named.
Reanna, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. The Better Business Bureau is a great resource for anyone with any sort of questions about who you might be dealing with and what sort of business you might be doing there. So always keep them in mind. They're always available to you online and by phone.